Like you go to the gym and stuff, right?
I
Like,
got a gym in my house now.
what?
Yeah, you should come over. We should fucking blast our quads.
Looked at my schedule. I'm busy for the rest of my life.
I'll come to you.
I did say the rest of my life. Wow. How often do you work out then if you have a gym in your house?
Every other day. I wouldn't say a gym. I have like, a bike. I have like a squat rack / some weights,
Oh, so it's not a gym at
Not a
all.
gym.
It's
It's
just
like-
you got a
like a
stationary bike in the living room in front of the TV.
it's a separate room.
Nice try.
Come down to the hood, man. Have
Really?
Yeah, come hang out.
How long is your workout?
20 minutes.
Dude, you don't have a gym and you don't work out. Nice try.
What are you talking about?
20 minutes.
How
do you work out? What do you do in 20 minutes?
I'm on my phone on a mat just
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
rolling around.
Yeah, okay.
Look at some weights, be like, tomorrow.
You're riding down the Harland Highway.
All right, hold tight on the Harland Highway Show.
Harland Williams.
Check. Oh man, I feel like I have a golden voice.
You do.
Like kind of like an old crooner type, Sinatra type voice.
Yeah. I got a big voice. I got a baritone voice.
You do?
You think so?
Well, what is, first of all, right away you stumped me. What does baritone mean?
Baritone is like it's like an instrument. It's like a brass instrument.
So you have like an instrument. You have like a,
Have you ever seen a baritone? What it is?
no, what is it?
It's like a brass toilet. It's like a big
Your throat is a brass toilet.
throat is a brass toilet.
Wow.
And with a big spit valve.
Wow.
But I used to play a baritone as a kid.
What?
Back in high school, and I was like so tiny, and it was bigger than me.
What was it? A tuba?
It was like a tuba, but just below the tuba.
Well, what's below the tuba?
Baritone.
Wow, I thought they were extinct.
No, man.
Wow.
No, they're still around.
Wow.
Yeah,
Holy-
mostly in weird parts of the
Baritone.
country.
Yeah, I
Baritone.
don't know a lot of musical like treble clef and bass clef.
That's
and,
a lot. That's more than me.
Like a treble clef's the one that goes like that and has the line through it.
yeah,
It's
like a weird loop-de kind of like.
it's like a question mark that was in rehab or something.
Yeah,
it's just
it's like a foreign question mark.
yeah. And the bass clef is just kind of like a comma
Right.
that got fat. Like I overdid it on pastries or something.
Yeah. I did you ever play an instrument in high school?
I did.
What'd you play?
I play a little bit of piano.
Yikes!
And I tried to play a little bit of guitar, but I have like short fingers.
You do.
Yeah, they're like little. Well, they're bigger than yours.
You're a bigger guy. But you're like 6'3". I'm like 5'7". That's all right.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god, you got like
I got nibblings.
you got your
sweet
you got
nibblings.
your sister's fingers.
Yeah, I got my sister's hands.
Sister's
Yeah,
fingers.
God.
It's a good band, Sister's Fingers.
Smells
like them too, yeah.
They are small though, aren't they?
Honestly, for a man of your stature, which is, by the way,
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're like a, you're 6'2".
6'2".
6'2". You got the hands of like like your son.
Like my son that's never been born.
like your
my unborn
like
son.
a little boy's hands. That's
got-
all right.
It's like, I know, it's like I got Benjamin Button hands or something. Because the reason I'm saying it, I would try to play guitar.
Right.
And I couldn't reach the top strings and stuff.
Yikes.
It was like, I needed to be almost like an ii. Have you ever seen an ii?
Yeah, I've seen videos like this.
Like this?
Yeah, how-to videos. Yeah, no guitar though. But
Wait, what are we talking about here?
that's you giving the finger in the wind.
I don't know. Have you ever heard of an ii?
like a pirate.
No, an ii.
Aye, Captain.
No, the animal.
Oh no. Just like old times, man. Like me and you on the road.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
God.
Good times.
Well, an ii, just so we clear it off the table, I don't want people like dwelling on it because it'll ruin the podcast.
Okay.
You don't want a hanger is what I call it, right?
Okay.
If you put something in people's heads, then they get distracted and they can't focus on the whole podcast. But an ii is like this weird, like Amazon tree-dwelling mammal.
Okay.
And it looks like who is the creature in Lord of the Rings? Gollum or whatever.
Gollum,
The
yeah.
one that talk like this.
Yes.
What was his name?
a Gollum?
Gollum.
Bill Gollum.
Bill Gollum. Yeah. Oh, I always wondered his first
Yeah, no one
name.
ever mentions the first name.
Good old Bill. William Gollum.
Bill
Yeah.
Gollum. I think he used to sell cars. There's a guy named Bill Gollum. Bill Gollum Chevrolet.
Is that right? Yeah. I thought he sold jewelry.
Precious stones.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, so this thing looks like William Gollum. It's got the big beady eyes, right?
Right.
And it's got an elongated middle finger. Like its middle finger is disproportionate to the rest of its fingers. Like its middle finger's this long.
Just the middle finger. No nail, all finger.
It's got a nail.
Okay.
But it's really long and thin, and it's like that much bigger. And what it does is it finds like nuts up in the canopy. It gets like tree nuts and stuff.
Are you pulling my middle tail?
Listen, dude.
You're yanking my middle tail.
Aye, Captain.
You're yanking it.
No, this is for real.
You're getting me all worked up, and you're yanking my middle tail.
Getting y'all eye-eyed up.
You're my middle up.
And what they do is they put a hole in the nut, and they stick this elongated finger in and pull out all the innards and eat it.
This is evolution, because those are the guys the ones with the middle finger are the ones that ate the most, so they probably lived longer, so they procreated more. That's like an evolutionary thing.
Right.
Right. Or they're the ones that made it the most because
Yeah. Oh, this.
they're popular.
And I also, now that we're on this, I think the II probably invented road rage, because it's like,
Right.
right? You just put that elongated finger out
There
the
you
window.
go.
That's like a 7-day flip off.
Have you ever give someone, when's the last time you gave someone the finger? It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's kind of died out, didn't it? The
Yeah.
finger. I used to like stuff our dads did. My dad used to do this. He used to go like this.
Yeah.
No finger though.
Yeah, just the
Old dad
Yeah.
he would take his hand off the wheel.
Right.
And he would just go like that.
Well, how about this one? I did this one recently.
What the?
Yeah.
To who?
I did it on a movie set.
Oh, really?
But here's the thing
your
about
trailer?
the finger.
Okay.
It's like if you kind of break down the finger.
Yes.
What are you saying to someone? You're driving by, you're going like this, like, hey, you cut me off.
Right.
I'm going to come over there, and I hope you sit on my finger with your anus.
Right. The whole point of the finger is like, hey, you did something terrible to me, so I'm going to screw you over. I'm going to put this in your butt.
Yeah.
But isn't that bad for me too?
I know, right?
I don't want that in there.
There's no winner unless you got a guy that likes it, or if you're a proctologist, maybe you're practicing.
Right.
It's like a free exam. Hey, fuck you. Hey, thanks. I have a tumor. Thanks. But here's the other thing. It has to be this finger, right?
Right.
Because if you do that finger, you go, hey.
Want to get married?
Yeah, it's like, hey, you want to put a ring on it? Yeah.
Can you believe I'm single?
Right?
Yeah.
And then if you do this one, it's like, hey. And it's like, the soup's almost ready.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And if you do this one, they're
it's
like,
hey, I got an
what the
idea.
fuck? Yeah.
I got an idea.
Yeah, or it's like, what the fuck's up there?
If you do this one, it's like, hey, good job.
Or they want to ride.
Or how about this? You do both, finger and middle thumbs up.
Ooh,
Hey, how about you go fuck yourself? And good for you.
Oh, wow. And then if you just do this.
Do this. Power slamming up the old
then
rear
you're
end,
in
up the old
priest
bumper.
country
Priest
then.
country, yeah. I've been in priest country, yeah.
Well, now that we've figured that out, folks, let's hit the theme music.
Oh, we started?
We're starting
This is
now.
what
We
means
had to
talk.
get I told you we had to get the hangers out of the way.
Right,
And the
right,
eyes, look at all the
Right.
stuff hidden in the eye.
Yeah, the eye.
And if we didn't clear that out, people would just be, distracted.
Of course.
So, folks, here we are. Yeah, now that's right. We're on the Harland Highway Honka. And, oh my God, my special guest today, I've known this guy since fucking Molly Ringwald bleached her asshole. This is EDDIE DELLA SIEPE's here.
10 years.
10 years, dude. Well, I've known of you longer, but we became buddies like 10 years ago.
Do you remember how we met?
Oh, God. I think, was it in Montreal?
It was in Montreal.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was at Super Sex. I was working.
Super Sex. Isn't that the new Marvel superhero?
Yeah, I think so.
He stands on a hill, go fuck yourself. And now a quick word from my bookie. If you found a $100 bill on the ground, you wouldn't walk past it, right? So why are you passing up on cashing winners every weekend? MyBookie has the biggest online selection of odds and contests to fill all your sports betting needs anytime, anywhere, so you can turn that sports knowledge into cash in your wallet. Bet on the NFL, MLB playoffs, or play for a share of big cash prizes in the weekly blackjack tournaments. If you've been waiting for the right time to get in on the action, that time is now. Make your winning move today. Sign up at mybookie.ag. Use the promo code Harland, that's me, Harland, and claim your deposit match redeemable up to $1,000. Again, that's promo code Harland to claim your bonus. Experience the thrill of sports betting right from the comfort of your home. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Good luck, everybody. And now back to the podcast.
Remember, we did a show together during the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival.
Yeah.
And we're kind of talking, whatever. And then we did that. There was like a in-house floor hockey game. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that's right.
We were on the same team.
Yeah, that's right.
And you kept calling me Grease Lightning or something.
Yeah,
you call me, hey, you little Grease Lightning.
Cool cucumber,
Hey,
yeah.
pass the ball, you little greasy.
Riboflavin lips.
Riboflavin lips.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that one.
Yeah.
But, and then we kind of hit it off a little bit. And then we
Yeah.
had another show together. And then I moved to LA.
That's right.
And I was like, I'm gonna say hi to Harland.
Yeah.
I gave you a Facebook DM back in
Oh,
the day.
wow. Remember those?
I remember those just
Wow.
popping up. Like, here we go.
Here we go.
It's another person who wants me, and just me and my little greasy hands. Like, hey, I'm in LA.
Yeah.
Can we hang out?
Yeah.
And then I was like, hey there, broccoli teeth. Why don't you come over? Hey there, grease fire nose hairs. Why don't you come to the improv? I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm getting
Yeah,
invited
yeah.
by Harland. This could be great.
Yeah.
And we started talking, whatever. And I was like, hey, I'd love to open for you sometime.
Yeah.
And he goes, I tell you what, there, cucumber feet. It's always a body part
Mixed with food.
and either a vegetable that I don't eat or I should eat. So, hey, get over here, Brussels toast,
Celery eyes.
celery eyes. And I was like, okay. And then you told me to come to Ontario, which I didn't know existed. Ontario,
Oh, yeah,
California.
Ontario, California.
And I
And
was
we were born in Ontario, Canada.
So we're both from Toronto originally.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I immigrated to the United States 10 years ago.
Wow.
And then you're like, come down. I was like,
Yeah.
great. And then I did a spot. You're like, you're great.
Yeah.
Hit me up again. And then we just started working together.
Yeah. We've been
And we opened for you for like 2 years. We did a little
Yeah.
tour. Yeah, it was great.
And then COVID hit, and then everything went silent.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
Harland?
Yeah. You'll have to we'll have to do some more, man.
Oh, we had a good time. We had great times.
Excellent.
One of my fondest memories with good old Harley,
Yeah.
dear friend Harley,
What happened?
was, I'm not going to say where or which
Okay.
club, but
Okay.
me and you show up at this club, right?
Uh-oh.
And I remember the manager was like, this is when he stuck up for me. And this is when I was like, this guy's a great guy. So we show up, and I was the middle act. So I do 20 minutes in the middle,
Yeah.
and there's usually a host. And I remember we showed up, and they go, okay, so Eddie's hosting, and then you're going to close it out, and that's it. And you're like, no. Eddie's not hosting. Eddie's a professional comedian. He should be in the middle. You should get a local act to introduce him. He shouldn't be taking the bullet like that. Let a young guy he's a professional, he's a pro, he's a headliner in his own right. And you really stuck up for me, and I was like, thanks, man. You didn't have to do that. He's like, no. You deserve respect. They shouldn't treat you like you're just some guy.
That's right.
And I was like, yeah, this guy's a great dude.
Oh, thanks.
And then we went out for dinner that night.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, this is a good man. He's sticking up for the little guy, figuratively and literally.
I know where this is going.
Oh, it's going somewhere. So then we go to this restaurant. Harland's like, hey, I got you. Like, look at it. The headliner helping out the little guy. He orders me prairie oysters. Now, listen, I'm not from here. I don't know what the hell's
You're
going on.
not even from the prairie.
I'm not from the prairie. I'm a city slicking, greasy little Brussels sprouts fucking munchkin, you know? So then he goes, you know the funny thing about you? He said, you didn't hide it. You were like this. How do they taste? I was like,
You ate like two of them.
I ate two.
There was like 5 on a plate.
right. He's like, I'm like, you want some? He goes, oh, no, I don't. They're all for you, little guy. I was like, all right, I don't care. I'm hungry, I'm a hungry little comic, So then I started eating them, and you're like, how they taste? Good. Why? He's like, well, you know what those are, right? And I looked them up, and I go, these are bull testicles.
Yeah. Bull's balls. Yeah.
So the question is not, why did my good friend Harland Williams feed me bull testicles for his own personal enjoyment? The question is, why did I go in for seconds?
Why did you have a second bag? Yeah. Did you really like them?
You know what? They're like a starburst. They just explode in your mouth.
Wow. Holy.
I will say I felt energized. I felt more of a man. Yeah, I felt great.
Wow.
I felt like and I walked away from that weekend thinking he really stuck up for me. And then he
really stuck it to me.
Stuck it to me. So, you always had that kind of pranky kind of like, it's all right.
I'm just a mischievous little elf.
He's just a mischievous little guy.
One thing I want to bring up right out of the gate, because one thing about Eddie, everyone immediately we go to your hair.
Okay.
No,
you got some good lettuce too, dude.
I know, but look at this. I want to.
What did you do?
No, this because you remind me of this. Okay, this is not an insult because this is
what did you
this
do?
is slick. Eddie always reminds me of the guys when you go to the barber shop, right? You go to the barber shop and you see these posters, and you got that hair, dude.
Thanks, buddy.
Right, that kind of slick, cool hair.
I always felt like you kind of like that. Because I remember I see old. That's
right. Not the bald guy, but
who asked for the bald guy?
the guy. The guys with the shiny kind of slick hair.
I love that they had to include that. Like you have other options. Like, can you do the sides small?
Yeah, why would you put a bald guy? What's his name? Skip? What's his name there?
What's his name?
Right, the bald guy, does it say?
But all the other ones look kind of the same, right?
Yeah, it's weird. Why would you put a bald guy in a barbershop
I think you know what it
poster?
is. It's the bald guy's like, hey, can I look like that guy? Like, you're this guy.
A before and after creep.
You ever like, it's funny you remind me, like, sometimes you go to those old barbershops and you see those photos in the window, but they're all faded, been there forever.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But I wonder if anyone ever uses them. No one's going to be like,
I want that look.
And like, no, you're not that dude.
Well, did you?
No, this kind of more, I kind of like always kind of gravitate towards 50s kind of like rockabilly kind of thing.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I saw early Harland was like rockabilly kind of vibes.
Yeah. No, early Harland was like long hair, like
that,
I used to have like kind of like I used to love Iron Maiden and all those metal bands. So I had first I had like long hair.
Long curly hair.
And then when Bono kind of came out with the ponytail thing, I did like the slick back ponytail for a while.
Ponytail guy?
Yeah, I did it. The reason I really did it is because the long hair was such a mess that it was so easy just to put gel in my hair and put it back. I looked like an idiot, of course.
Do you have a scrunchie?
I did have a scrunchie, yeah. God, sometimes I just use a calamari ring and eat it for lunch. God,
that's my old nickname in high school, calamari ring.
Oh,
but
wow. That's what you get in those Catholic
so when you were hooking
schools.
up with a fine lady,
and
you both put your hair in scrunchies,
Yeah.
before you guys did the deed.
Oh, dude.
Before you did old power slam into her cauliflower.
Whoa, dude. Welcome to Sizzler.
It's a
Welcome
kid's
to
show.
Sizzler.
You just both put on your little scrunchies.
Little scrunchie.
And then you went to Pound Town.
What, did you ever have long hair?
No.
Okay.
Never. Always had short. I shaved my head forever. I used to be one of these guys, just do it myself, like a psycho in the mirror. And then, yeah, for years.
What do you mean shave it? Like really short?
Yeah, like bald, like not bald, not
what?
skin. Yeah, I used to go like have clippers and just be like, yeah.
You had never had like short, like buzz cut hair.
Oh yeah, when I was a kid.
Oh, when you were a kid.
Yeah,
okay.
and then I started like you really letting the lettuce loose, and then at one point it got a little too big. I was like kind of really pompadouring it.
Oh, right, yeah.
But then that's a lot of maintenance.
Yeah.
But now, hey, I'm 42, full lettuce. I'm doing all right.
You got the full coleslaw. Do you do a lot of maintenance? Like you go to the gym and stuff, right? Like,
I got a gym in my house now.
What?
Yeah, you should come over. We should fucking blast our quads.
Looked at my schedule. I'm busy for the rest of my life.
I'll come to you.
I did say the rest of my life. Wow, pushy. Fizz Ed Willie over here.
I just want to have some fun with my friends.
Wait, but so you don't go to the public gym anymore?
No.
Why not? You used to love it there.
I used to go all the time. But
Did you get freaked out in the? You used to always tell me you get freaked out in the dressing room. Though there'd always be a guy with like a nut hanging out or something, wasn't there? It's like some guy with a fucking prairie oyster hanging out of his Hooters shorts.
Hooters?
Yeah, the orange Hooters shorts.
Did I ever have moments like that?
Didn't you tell me you saw a guy with his thing hanging out once, or am I thinking of someone else?
I think you may be having a feverish dream. But,
Oh, God.
maybe a reminder of old high school days, but yeah.
So wait, how often do you work out then if you have a gym in
Maybe
your house?
every other day. I wouldn't say a gym. I have like, a bike. I have like a squat rack / some weights,
Oh, so
Yeah.
it's not a gym at
Not a
all.
gym.
It's
It's
just
like-
you got a
like a
stationary bike in the living room in front of the
No,
TV.
it's a separate room.
Nice try.
It's like a hotel gym you can compare it to, like a small hotel gym.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not like a Red Roof, but like maybe a Hilton gym.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So if you ever, come down to the hood, man. Have
Really?
yeah, come hang out.
How long is your workout?
20 minutes.
Dude, you don't have a gym and you don't work out. Nice try.
What are you talking about?
20 minutes.
How
How do you work out? What do you do in 20 minutes?
I'm on my phone on a mat, just
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah.
rolling around.
Yeah, okay.
Look at some weights, be like, tomorrow.
Oh, God. Are you on your phone a lot? Because you're like social media savvy. That's one thing I like about you. Every time I bump into you, you're talking about like something new.
Something new.
TikTok or like,
Something, yeah.
like what's going on?
I try to get on my phone. I try not to be on my phone as much. I think we
Yeah.
all kind of feel like you look at the numbers and you're like, oh no, is it good? This is bad.
Yeah.
So lately, I've been kind of like, I'm just gonna post and then ghost. I'm just gonna put on the table, put in my pocket, try to live my life. I feel like we're looking down too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting that text neck, just like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, like a hunchback. or just
Hunchback
like,
of
like
Notre Dame.
yeah, like a gargoyle. But here's what's driving me nuts about on TikTok now. You look at TikTok and Instagram,
Yeah.
and I was talking about this the other day. I hate these posts by like some kid in their living room, like a 14-year-old kid, or some girl sitting in her car
Right.
in the Bevmo parking lot or whatever.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, like this person who's like in Cleveland somewhere is like, and it looks like Vladimir Putin's got leukemia and he's hiding in a secret room in his basement. Like, these people that suddenly have these very intricate and deep like scoops on the world.
Yeah.
And it's like someone in a parking lot at Arby's out in fucking
Here's on Fresno. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the problem with that is that if you watch it in disgust and you're like, what is wrong with? You're still watching the whole thing. The algorithm thinks, hey, you love when 14-year-old boys talk about geopolitical skirmishes.
Right.
But so the algorithm's like, hey, this guy over here, this man loves watching kids talk about Vladimir Putin. Let's show him some more. And they keep showing it to you. And then you got some kid who's like in a leotard on his way to gymnastics class.
To your gym.
To my gym.
Yeah.
Going, hey, what's up with President G? And you're just like, ugh. You keep watching, they keep showing it
But
to you.
no, I as soon as I see it's some idiot,
Right.
like talking about somehow they know about Gwyneth Paltrow's inner circle, or somehow they
right.
know about President Biden's economic plan, or somehow they know
Yeah.
Israel's military strategy, and it's
Right,
like
right.
some guy named Larry in Cleveland down in his mother's basement with a can of Pringles. I'm like, I just swoop past immediately.
That's good. You know what you can do? You can actually, there's like a button where it says, I'm not interested in this, and we'll stop showing it to you.
Really?
Yeah.
So anything that comes up in that kind of
they'll
wheelhouse.
they'll force feed just stuff you hate because you're more likely to react to it.
Right.
So then you'll just put, hey, I'm not interested in looking at this.
Really?
Yeah, you can do that.
But you know what I'm talking about, right?
I know when people are like everyday guys on his way to his shift at CVS. Being like,
Yeah.
Before I go and like get the deodorant packages out and put them
Yeah.
on the shelf, I just want to talk about what's going on in Russia. And you're
Yeah.
like, buddy, you got mustard on your shirt.
He's standing there with a price gun.
Yeah, he's got a price gun. You know, we really gotta improve our military.
Yeah.
Just like,
Ching,
okay,
ching, ching.
yeah, all right. But but that's the thing with social media I do hate is that everyone's got an opinion and they can get a lot of like,
Right.
You don't have any education and you can get a following for just being
I know.
slightly engaging, or you can just full on lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's these guys I've seen, like, remember, it almost used to be, not that I've ever loved movie critics, but it almost used to be there was an echelon of the ones that were considered sort of credible and good, like Siskel and Ebert.
Yeah.
You know, there was a small pocket of people, whether you liked movie critics or not, if they gave your movie a thumbs up or a thumbs down, it had an impact.
Right.
And now you go on like social media, like TikTok or Instagram, And you'll see these kids, like, you know, they're down in their basement and you're giving these full kind of lengthy reviews of movies very intricately and very detailed. And you're like, kid, are you even gone through puberty yet there, Baldy? It's like, you know, it's like, grow some pubes and then tell me about the Avengers,
Baldy.
you know?
Yeah,
you bald skunk rat. God. You know, it's like,
I do think it's, you know, as artists, I will say, I don't want to pull that card out of my dairy.
This thing?
I'm surfing on my opinions here. But I will say, as a creator, as people who make things, have people with strong opinions about, like, I didn't like when he does this. I don't like when he talks about that. Like, what have you done?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You're wearing your whole outfit's from TJ Maxx, and your fucking parents hate you.
Yeah.
And you have no talent, and you're telling Harland and telling me, like, yeah, I liked it better. I liked his old stuff better.
Yeah, it's interesting. And by the way, I don't mind anyone giving their opinion, but when they've made a channel out of it. Like somehow they've anointed them the expert, or they've given themselves a degree.
Their whole identity is circled around this idea of, like, I'm the guy that hates stuff.
Yeah, and you have no pedigree, you have no background, you have no education, and I don't mind hearing people like espouse their opinions, but when they take it so seriously that it's almost like they've set up shop.
Right.
I was like, no, who are you?
You know, it was like I was just watching recently. I was watching the show The Crown on Netflix.
Oh, wow, that show about teeth?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. The root canal episodes they go real deep.
Wait till the new season comes out, The Bridge.
The Bridge. Man, brace yourself.
Way better than the
brace yourself.
Yeah. Buck your teeth in for that one.
Man, just buck up your teeth for that one.
Gingivitis hole your grandmother on
holy
that
molar,
one.
holy molar.
Wow.
Any hole in your
really
tooth.
Drilled that one home.
Any tongue. What was I talking about? The Crown.
Oh, wow.
They do that at the beginning of the episode, the last season.
Yeah.
The paparazzi was chasing Princess Diana. And I was thinking about that. Oh, yeah, paparazzi, those scum.
Right.
That was it still is a job, but back then it was like a real job.
Right.
Like, your whole job is to, like, pester people.
Yeah. And now all of us are doing it.
You were just doing it. Yeah. You can do it. You see somebody like, hey, look at that.
Yeah.
But
everyone's a paparazzi.
Everyone's a
now.
paparazzi.
Yeah.
Paparazzi?
Paparazzi.
Paparazzi.
I don't know. I think I used to know where that term came from at one point.
Yeah, it's like an Italian word for
ice cream.
Greasy photographer guy.
Is it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I can say that because my dad's a
greasy photographer
guy.
Yeah. He's paparazzi. Hey, paparazzi.
Paparazzi. Papa.
And Razzi. Yeah.
Paparazzi. My dad's Razzi. He's my father. Paparazzi. That'd be kind of fun. Yeah.
And then the other thing that's driving me nuts, dude, is that you start to get these new words from the TikTok crowd. So now the big one is if someone gets killed, they go, oh, he unalived his friend.
That's not a thing.
Right? That's the big thing now. No one says dead anymore. They're saying unalived.
And
it's like, what are we in Dr. Seuss's House of Wax?
I thought that exact same
right?
thing.
Yeah.
Here's one I find. So listen, you're a little older than me, but like, you know, now we're watching slang sort of seep into like everyday life, and I'm watching kids say things. I'm just like, what? Like this one kind of, what's your body count? Which is which is like how many women have you been with, or how many people have you been with? Which is like, what's this fascination with death? Body count.
Yeah, right. In the old days, that was reserved for like Dahmer and John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah, or like or some creepy guy in your neighborhood. Yeah, you'd be like, what's his body count? But like now, it's like, what happened to the good old days? How much tail have you had?
Yeah, right.
Have you got a bundle? You got a bushel of puss in your back pocket?
Yeah, right. Holy smokes, yeah, dude.
A bushel of puss? Have you had a bushel of puss this summer? You know?
Yeah. What's the body count?
What's your body count, man?
And what's even scarier is when you see these interviews and the people answer them.
Right.
A lot, like the guys and the girls. Sometimes it's just like so high up there. You're just like, whoa, what the hell?
Oh, man. Get Mother Teresa. Where's she?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, but that unalived thing, it's like, you know, what if you got someone pregnant? Oh, I uncondomed her, you know, or you know what I mean? Or if someone's a fatty, unskinny, can I get you some more cake there? Unskinny, you know? It's like, come on. It's just like the only thing you can put an un in front of is 7-Up. Like have an uncola.
I like
uncondomed.
uncondomed. Uncondomed sounds nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I unprotected her, so I unprotected her.
My El Spermo went into your ego.
I didn't know you're bilingual.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. That's nice. You're unenglished.
Yeah, I'm un-English. Yeah, see? Exactly.
Oh, Harley, I miss you, buddy. It's been a minute.
Yeah, I haven't seen. Well, COVID kind of blew, I think, everyone's friendships in a way.
Yeah.
People sort of got scattered, and I think people sort of reassembled their lives and kind of prioritized things, and I think it just sort of put everyone in a different direction.
Also, we got used to not hanging out, and we're kind of like at home a lot, so we didn't feel as like, I got to get out. It's like, well, I'm at home, it is what it is.
And it sort of disrupted the whole comedy world a lot, too, because stand-up was literally put on ice. Like, there was 2 years where no one was doing clubs, no one could go to a club.
Right.
All the guys you worked with and did shows with, it just
some people left town, some people left the state, some people just stopped doing it.
I know, man. It's
crazy.
It was just like it was a really weird time. Did you kind of reassemble your life through all that? Did you like
I will say this though,
reprioritize stuff
about my good friend Harley here? You're an OG fist pump guy.
Always, yeah.
You're an OG fist bump guy.
That's right.
I remember when we used to do meet and greets. They want to meet you. They'd ask me, "Hey, can Harland say hi?
Yeah, right.
Can you buy my CD?"
Oh,
but you would like, "Hey, Power Slam." You'd give a fist pump.
Yeah.
And you were like a pieneer. Now everyone fist pumps.
Yeah, I was ahead of the curve.
You're ahead of the. I remember back in the day, you do meet and greets, and you would get the antibacterial stuff. And I go, "Why'd you do that?" He goes, "Ever since I started doing this, I get less colds now."
Yeah.
And you're on the road a lot, and I get it. And I was like, "Oh, I guess that's a good idea." You touch people's hands. Some guy's got some peanut butter under his fingernails. You're like, "Whoa, I just get back to the bathroom." It's just like,
whoa, crunchy style.
Sign my wife.
Yeah.
I was like,
oh,
yikes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sign the guy as a deaf wife.
Sign my wife.
Yeah.
Any hole.
But yeah, it was, what.
But you're an OG guy. You're fist pumping. You're hand sanitizing, and then now everyone does it.
Well, what happened is when I first started doing the road a lot, so, you do a meet and greet after your shows. And on a given weekend, you'll shake hands with 500, 600, 700 people maybe. It's a lot of...
Some of these rooms are like 1,000 people. Like, not, was like maybe close to 1,000. The Irvine Improv is like 800 almost.
Yeah.
750.
Even if it's 300-seater, if you do 6 or 7 shows there on a weekend, you're probably shaking at least 500 hands.
For sure.
And so what I started to realize is I was getting like the cold or a flu like 3 times a year. And I'm like, what the? And this was like, 15 years ago. And I thought, good Lord, this is horrible. And everyone was like, oh, it's because you're flying on the plane. It's that air in the plane.
But the plane air is the cleanest.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what it is, I researched it, and it turns out that the majority of cold and flu viruses are passed through human contact, shaking hands, touching, and then you touch your eyes, your nose, or your mouth, and boom, in it goes.
Right.
And so I just said, you know what? No more shaking hands after the shows. I just gave the potato. It's hey, give me a potato. It's harvest season.
Yeah.
And I just did the fist pump, and I rarely, ever get
and
a
you know
cold
what's funny?
or the flu.
What you did was, you did it to I remember watching you do it. You would give someone the fist pump, and people in line would be like, oh, he's a fist pump guy.
Yeah.
And then everyone just kind of follows suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the real one that was kind of interesting was the women, because women don't expect you to give them the pump,
Right.
But I do it everywhere now. I do it when I go to meetings. If I have a pitch meeting, I meet a big studio head or I meet an executive. It doesn't matter who it is. If it's some guy's wife or his girlfriend, it's like, look, this is a short exchange. I might never, ever see you again in my life. I'm happy to meet you. This is great. We're connecting.
Right.
But just because we're meeting doesn't mean I want to walk away and be sick for 7 days.
You know, it's funny. I was only conscious of it because you brought it out. I remember being on the road with you, and you were like, you don't know. People go to the bathroom. They don't wash their hands. Maybe they do, but they don't do it right or whatever. And you walk out and you shake their hands. Hug my wife. Kiss me. You're just like, ugh. But I remember one time I was on the road with you. I think it was, where was it? There was a meet and greet. And I literally watched a guy come out of the bathroom, and his hands were wet, and he's just going like this.
Oh.
And he was just like, kind of like, I remember him just kind of doing that. And I was watching, like, what is this guy going to do? And I remember
autistic?
he was kind of, he was just, he wasn't part of the show.
Okay,
he was just trying, he was actually trying to dance.
Yeah.
But, and then he was touching his face and kind of like that, like that.
God,
And then I watched him walk up
great.
to you and I was like, and then you gave him a power fist. I was like, I literally watched it happen in real time.
Yeah.
Because that guy could easily been like, hey, right here. And
Well,
like,
even a power fist with a wet fist is creepy.
Yeah.
Anytime you touch like wet, feels like the creature of the Black Lagoon just came to your show.
Wet fists are creepy.
But here's the thing. I don't even mind if someone doesn't wash their hand like after being in the bathroom, whatever. Like that's not going to lead to me getting a cold or the flu. It's when someone, if you're shaking 600 hands in a weekend, someone in that crowd is going to be sick.
You know what you need?
And that's when you get it.
Right.
And it's so funny because the government always puts all this money and effort into, anti-flu stuff like vaccines, and they do commercials about getting the vaccine for the flu and all this and that. And I'm like, why don't they just do a campaign where they say stop shaking hands?
Hey,
the
Japanese got it right. They bow.
They bow.
They don't touch.
And it
they're
works.
like, hey, and it's like a sign of respect, and everyone just bows it out.
Yeah,
They figured it out.
I like that, and not only that, but it's a sign of respect.
Sign of respect.
So it's a dual. It's a greeting. You're acknowledging, and you're saying, "I respect you."
But what if you bow together at the exact same time? You hit each other's heads, and then
you'll be out cold, so you won't know.
And then you're both passed out, and you wake up next to a Japanese man, and you're like, "Oh my god, I slept with a Japanese man on the streets."
Huh, interesting. Yeah,
That's never happened. Have you ever thought about that?
No, I didn't get a cold, but I had a little Japanese baby.
There you go.
Wow.
You had a California roll.
Yeah, hello, Chuck E. Cheese on line 5. Hello.
Chuck E. Cheese line 5. Any hole, but
yeah.
I will say you were an OG
Yeah.
fist pump guy, and now everyone's doing it. And
Yeah,
I remember
are they really? Yeah.
I think most people. I don't.
Yeah.
You know what? I take it back. I think
Yeah.
if you were to see a fist pump like, hey, like that, no one's gonna be like, whoa, what's this? What are
Yeah,
you like?
yeah,
What are
yeah.
we playing? Fucking rugby or something?
Yeah.
But people look at it like, oh, I get it. Like we did this for 2 years. Some people
Yeah.
still do it. So
Yeah, you got to still do it, man.
Yeah.
You got to still. The only people who have it right are the people who work at Subway because they have the blue gloves on no matter what.
yeah.
So they're probably the least likely to get COVID and get sick.
You know what you should do next time?
What?
Is instead of actually fist pumping too, because you can still get some, some of their juices from your fist. You get a rubber fist and hold in your hand, and you're like, "Hey, power slam!" And you just bring out the fist, and you can just bump the fist. And if you're looking for a rubber fist, I got a guy.
I think I mentioned it early. I looked at my calendar. I'm busy for the rest of my life. Thanks for the offer.
Wow,
guy.
wow, you reach a fist out to a
Yeah,
friend, and he's
yeah.
like really slams
Yeah,
you down like
yeah.
that. That's not fun.
Well, I got a schedule I got to keep.
All right,
The rest of my life
I'll
completely booked.
I'll just leave one on your front door.
Oh, well, okay. Doorstop Sally on line 5.
Doorstop Sally.
Oh, God. What is it? Oh, I wanted to, this was a cool thing I wanted to ask you about.
All right.
So have you ever done anything, and sometimes people get credit, they get lucky. Have you ever done something that you think you've done first? Like
What do you mean?
Like you feel like you were the first guy to ever do this? Like you sort of did something in your daily routine or driving or working or whatever, and you go, I think I might be the first person to ever do this. Anything ever like that?
Give me an example. Like, what do you mean?
Well, like think about like the cannon, okay?
Cannon?
Yeah, like the weapon, the cannon.
Yeah. The one like they used in Civil War.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a big ball.
Right. So think about it. The first cannons were probably shot putters, right? You know that sport, shot putting?
Of course, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I used my dad, my mom met on a shot put course.
Right? See?
Yeah.
And so what I'm thinking is, before cannons, you just had these fat guys.
Fat guys.
They'd charge across the field,
Right.
fire, and they were only effective as if the enemy was within 40 feet.
40 feet, or if the guy
Yeah.
was super strong.
Right.
Right.
Then he could maybe get 60 feet out of it if he was an Olympian.
Wow.
But I think the first cannons were shot putters.
Really?
Yeah, and they would just roll them in, and then they'd have a guy on the side. They had to have like a Michael Winslow type of sound effect guy that would go, and then the guy would throw it.
The
and
forefathers in America probably that's what happened. They probably were like, hey, look at that, large man. Let's get a metal ball in his chin.
Wow.
Get him in a leotard.
Yeah.
Let him run up to the front lines and let him toss his balls at him, right?
Wow.
And then they said, wait a second, he's on a lunch break, but we're still fighting here. We need something to harness that kind of like ability.
Yeah.
So let's get a big cannon. And they're like, some guys like me, like, no, not the big dick guy in our army.
Whoa.
Let's get an actual cannon.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey. And then those guys, those leotard shot
What's
putter
with
guys.
the leotard?
Well, it's like the Olympics.
Did the shot put guys wear leotards?
They wear like a leotard. They wear like a onesie.
Oh, see that?
You don't watch the Olympics?
Well, I never seen a guy in a onesie.
No, it's like a little thin lace thing.
Doesn't that really take the edge off of it? You show up, you're a hulking human being. You can throw a ball, cast iron ball that most people can't even pick up.
No.
You can throw it half the length of a football field, and you're wearing a onesie.
You're wearing a onesie, a little tight onesie.
Talk about counter programming.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just wear like a Miller Lite T-shirt and some shorts,
Right? Yeah.
You're like, no, you got to wear the onesie. Like, why?
yeah.
I'm the strongest man in this stadium.
Right.
Why can't I just wear, a shirt that says where the MILF's at and like, and some dungarees?
That's like a guy in the UFC walking out in a dance skin. I mean, you just don't do it, man.
Yeah, like a boxer walking out there with like biker shorts and a little tank top.
Yeah, no, or a midriff.
Midriff, like a little crop top showing these beautiful little abs.
I know, it just doesn't add up.
It doesn't add up.
But you did do something first that you've never done. You told me about.
Here we go.
Here we go. Because I love this. You said you weren't a dog guy, and you got a dog.
Got a dog.
Tell me the story. I wouldn't let you tell me because I wanted to talk about it
So,
on here. Yeah, what happened?
You know me back in the day.
Yeah.
I was never a dog guy.
Yeah, why weren't you though? Before you tell us what's happened, why weren't you?
If I can, don't miss that. I forgot you do that.
Yeah. Welcome to the 90s.
You really slurp her up, don't you?
Learn that
I always you used to do that all the time. I remember the first time you did it, really alarmed me.
It did?
Yeah, because I was jarred. I think it was in a car with you, and you're like, I was like, oh my God. And I'm sure you're very popular with the ladies because of the slurpy.
Oh, every lady
lids.
loves a good old slurp master.
Just treat me like a Pepsi can, Daddy.
Yeah.
But
slurp me until the aluminum comes off my lips.
Slurp me until you cut your tongue.
Yeah. Wow. I love that album. Wasn't that the Scorpions?
There was a Scorpions. Wow, yeah. It was their good. Their later stuff wasn't as good as the first stuff. But slurp me until you cut your tongue.
Oh, I love that album. Lost my virginity to it.
That's going to be the daddy-daughter song at my wedding.
Wow. You're going to marry your daughter?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Well, sometimes you got to keep it in the family.
Daddy, daughter.
Hey,
have fun, inbreed.
Let's
get back to your dog.
My little dog, Franklin. Frankie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why Franklin?
I do think I kind of like when dogs have kind of like regal, almost very proper English names like Winston, Franklin, Theodore.
Yeah.
I always find it kind of odd when people have like, it's my dog Bill,
or Fluffy or something.
Fluffy's okay. I like when dog names. There's some. If you're gonna do a human name, I always feel like something a little like, who has a name like Theodore?
I see.
You know what I mean? Like it's like old English.
Yeah. Got it.
So Franklin to me is like Franklin Roosevelt. So and we used to live off a street called Franklin. Used to back in the day. I was like,
okay.
So I was never a dog guy.
Why though?
If I could be 100% honest,
please,
with my good
tired
friend,
of your lying.
I've lied the whole time I've been here. Is that I was afraid to unlock something, to be vulnerable to something, to have something need me that much, because I don't want to let it down. Because I'm not a kids guy.
Wait, really? It was that deep of a psychological reason?
I was digging deep. I was going really deep, you know. And I was like, why don't I want to have an animal?
Yeah.
And I was afraid. Because listen, I don't want to be dire about this, but when you get an animal, you're lucky it lives 13 years.
Yeah, that's true.
So when you buy an animal or you adopt an animal, you're actually you're planning to be sad in 13 years.
Right.
And I was afraid to be sad. Wow, and I was like, you know what? The journey on the way to its final breath is still going to be great and like full of love and life. And I tell you as soon as we got the dog, you know, it was a puppy. There was moments of like learning how to like deal with a little puppy because there's like, you know, he's pooping, he's peeing, he's not sure where he is.
Yeah.
But once you get over those humps, it's like, oh man, now I'm like full in.
What the? What is it?
I thought about bringing my dog here because you love animals.
Right? Oh wow!
I thought about it
because you don't like to be away from them. That's how attached
I wouldn't say
you are.
that. I wouldn't say I'm that attached, but there are times where I'm just like, we should go home early because the little guy's waiting for us.
Really?
Yeah. I love my dog.
Well, now what is it though that just made you have this like incredible attachment to it?
You know, it's funny. I related to this video a lot. I was on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I think this is like a trend, right? They had this guy who's like a cholo kind of gangster guy, you know, high socks, whatever. He's like, close your eyes. And he goes, because it's his birthday gift. He goes, close your eyes, man. And he closes his eyes and he holds his hand out like that. And they put a box. And he's like, hey. And he thought it was going to be like, open it up. It's going to be like, you know, maybe a bunch of hair combs or some sneakers.
Yeah.
Or some, you know, some petroleum grease for his hair. And he opens it up and there's a little dog. And he puts on the puppy, and then this guy with face tattoos, this kind of Mexican gangster guy, starts crying.
Oh, I think I saw that.
And I'm like, I get it, man.
Yeah.
That little thing unlocked that.
Yeah.
That thing crip walked into his heart. You know what I mean? So
interesting.
It's funny how like a little, and and then I get it. That little dog unlocked me too. I was like, I love this little guy.
Wow.
He's like a son to me. I get when people say this is my kid. I love the dog. And now when I see dogs, now I'm like all in. I'm like,
get it.
Hey buddy, hey, what's going on? Wow. I used to not be like that. I'd be like, hey, control your dog.
But you were apprehensive at first because you knew that if you got attached to one, eventually 15 years later you would have to
I'd be sad as hell. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be unalived it.
Yeah.
It would be re-dead. Yeah.
Oh God.
But you love animals too.
I guess you've got to change that stupid dog trick now. Instead of play dead Rover, it's like unalive Rover.
Unalive Rover.
Right,
Yeah. And he doesn't
yeah.
listen because he's unsmart.
Unlistening. Yeah.
He's unsmart. Yeah. But you got to meet my dog sometime.
Well, wait a minute. So this ability for this dog to kind of open you up, and make you emotionally available, it sounded like.
Yeah, I'm a new man.
Did that transition into your relationship with humans? Did you find yourself this dog was therapeutic in a way that it helped you learn how to open up when it came to meeting humans or a partner in your life or people in your family, you love?
I've always considered myself a transitioning human.
Wow. Optimus Prime in your underpants. Yeah. Wow. Guy's a transformer all of a sudden.
Well, the girlfriend,
Yeah.
now my fiance.
The girlfriend.
My fiance now, she introduced me to the dog. So I was like, in this relationship, she's like, hey, I want a dog. I'm like, hey, no. And she's like, well, listen, this is what she said to me.
Yeah.
I need something small that I want, that needs me, that I want to take care of. She kind of gave me that kind of like the underlining, like, hey, it's either a baby or a dog.
It wasn't you?
It wasn't me or
Oh,
my
it could have
dad
been.
or my little mom.
Yeah.
It could have been. And I was like, all right, we're getting a dog and condoms. You know what I mean? So
So you're going to fuck the dog?
Yeah. No.
Well, you said it, not me again. Guy, I'm just...
God, why does your mind always go there?
Well,
you're always uncondoming your mind.
Talking to an inbreed. This is what happens.
Oh, man, you're always unvirgining your mind.
Wait, so did...
So she wanted a dog, and I
Yeah.
was like, let's do it. So we end up getting a dog.
Oh, wow.
And then I just sort of, at first I was a little bit like, this thing better not, shit on my shirts or
Right.
like eat my shoes. And
Yeah.
then you slowly see this little guy just like take over your whole life. And I was just like, I'm a dog guy now.
It's that unconditional love, right?
Yeah, I
that
love
they
it.
They just...
Dude, when you come home,
Yeah.
the feeling
Yeah.
is unmatched.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's like, hey, how's the show? And my little guy's like all over me.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I want.
Well, let me ask you this. Has there been any buyer's remorse from your girlfriend? Has she been like, wait a minute,
Yes.
he's pouring more love onto the dog now than I feel like I'm getting? Because sometimes that happens.
No, I would say she underestimated how much I would love the dog. She
interesting.
thought like, okay, you'll love the dog, but it'll be now the dog's. I play with him all the time. I give him a walk all the time.
Yeah.
She's like, I think he loves you more than me. He's
Yeah.
like always going to you.
And
He's always
do you?
like,
Does the dog love you more than it loves her?
I mean,
Sounds like it.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying, I play some good catch. We should play catch sometime.
Have you talked to her about this? Like,
She's brought up to me.
What'd she
yesterday.
say? What'd
She's
she
like, I
say?
think he loves you more than me. I go, why? Because the
Ooh.
moment you come home, he's like, he wants to play. He never does that to me.
Really? Is there a little bit of jealousy?
wouldn't say jealousy, but
Has
you know,
it started any
I
fights?
think no. I think the animal
It
can
will.
tell. The animal can tell. Like I'm the fun guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, we should play catch sometime. Me and you. I'll throw the ball around.
What do you mean?
I'll just toss it. You grab it with your mouth. Come back to
Run
me.
back.
Run back. I'll
On all fours?
Yeah, rub your belly, and you just go off and just run around and have some kibble.
What if I start humping your leg?
Well, as long as the jeans are on, I'm not gonna get in the way of you having a good time.
Okay.
Just like old time on the road.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, man. It's like you know when you let a critter into your life, like anyone
Ew.
who's ever met, like. Dude. I love ooh. It just stops everything. Ew. Yeah.
Let a critter in your life.
What a great day. Ew.
Ew. I think a woman said that about me. She hooked up with me. She's like, I think I let a critter in my life.
Oh, really? I mean, really? Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing how because I had that happen when I was younger. I'm allergic to cats.
Me too.
And I had a girlfriend who brought a cat into the home, and
Right.
I suffered through it, but I loved the cat. Like I thought, oh, this is going to be a nightmare, and I just had to sort of be careful. I couldn't touch the cat.
Right.
I couldn't really sit on the couch where the cat liked to sit, because then if I touched my face,
Hives? You break out in
not
hives?
at a hives, but just itchy, and so I was like, I hate cats. And then just being around the cat, I loved it. Like this is the kind of the secret elixir that domestic animals have.
Right.
They know how to. They don't even know. They just by default charm you, and they're just amazing.
Right.
Wow.
Would you ever have an exotic animal?
I've had a lot of exotic animals. I've had like snakes and frogs.
You've had
and
a snake
turtles.
before? You were a snake guy?
Oh yeah, all of that, man.
Really?
Turtles, snakes. I used to keep a terrarium.
Were you like a snake guy, like like those classic kind of snake guys? This is back in your old hair metal days.
Yeah.
You invite some girl over for some Miller Lights. You're just like, hey, want to put on some AC/DC? Want to see my snake? She's like, okay, buddy, this is our second date. Like, no, I got a snake. And then you bring him out of a box with a bunch of holes in it. And you put it on your neck. You're like, hey.
With a Miller Lite shirt. Yeah, great. Thank you. God.
Is that what you used to
hate
do?
myself
Were you a snake
now.
guy back when you were a kid?
I used to go catch them. I'd go down to the ravine and
So let me get this straight. You told your family, like, hey, I'm gonna go catch some snake. I'm gonna go catch a snake, and like he's gonna go off and jerk off in the forest.
Ooh.
That's what he would. That's his slang. Let him have the fun with your snake, Harley.
Wow. With an on the end. No, I wouldn't even tell them. I would just, my parents, I'd go out.
All right.
I'd come back home. I'd have like 4 or 5 snakes in my hands. I'd just go and catch like handfuls of them.
I had everyone. Speaking of childhood and animals.
Oh, here we go.
So my dad.
Here we go.
So my mom is from South America. God.
Yeah.
You know, the timing of that is incredible.
South America?
No, I mentioned my mom and you just slurp up this can.
Oh, wow.
And I just closed my eyes. I picture you slurping my mother.
Whoa, too
Which I don't
soon.
disagree. You know,
Wow.
I wouldn't mind. But
Harry, come
yeah,
on.
Harry, come over. Anyhow,
Yeah.
I had this moment. I'll never forget it when it comes to animals. Right.
Yeah.
So my mom's from South America. My dad was
Yeah.
from Italy, but he's like a farm boy. So back then,
Okay.
they kind of like view animals differently on like people who grew up on a farm, right? It's more for like either they're pests or predators or necessity, like chickens or
The animals, okay.
The animals,
Yeah,
right, right.
yeah,
They don't
yeah.
have like as open. They kind of view them more as like
Got it.
less separate from human beings.
Yeah.
So I'll never forget one time. This is the earliest moment I had with any kind of animal and death or whatever. And this is kind of creepy, but I was young. Remember the old sticky traps for like for mice?
Yeah, yeah.
Remember those
it's
little
like
ones?
It's like fly paper for mice.
Yeah,
It's like glue.
Glue. So you
Yeah.
put a little bit of peanut butter, or
Yeah.
put a little, a little raisinette.
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
You put a little like, what would you put there?
Like a piece of cheese or
Piece of
peanut butter.
cheese, or like a Ferrero Rocher,
Yeah.
or you put like a Skittle,
Yeah. Skittle.
put like a pea,
Count Chocula.
a little Count Chocula,
Booger.
put a booger there. Put like a little frosted flake.
Your father's fake eye.
My dad's fake eye. Maybe
Whatever
some
you want.
dentures.
Yeah.
A toenail.
Whatever you like.
Whatever you like.
Yeah.
The world's your oyster. An oyster.
Yeah, oyster.
Yeah, you put a little something there.
Yeah.
Maybe like a little spark plug.
Yeah.
So
what happened?
So then the mouse, I remember being a little boy, being like, and I saw it right on the trap on the
It
sticky.
was stuck.
And
Yeah.
when you look at it, it's really horrifying.
Yeah.
Because the little guy is just like, hey, I was gonna have some of this,
Yeah.
frosted flake.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Yeah.
and it's like really
Yeah.
like,
That shit works.
and you're like, I know it's vermin, but it's
Yeah.
also a life, and you're just
Right.
like, oh man, that ain't nice.
Right.
And I remember being a young boy, telling my dad, I go, Dad, and he looked at it, he's like, ugh. And then there was like a little shed next to the kitchen, and I remember distinctly, my dad grabbed it, and then he grabbed a hammer, and went like this, bang, bang, and I'm looking through the door, just peeking, and he looked at me, and I looked at him, and he showed it to me, and I was like. And ever since then, I've always been kind of like weird around animals. That was a defining
that'll
moment.
do it. Your
That'll,
dad
because you don't want to
crushing him
see
with a hammer.
You don't want
Yeah.
to see that. Like I can,
Yeah.
he could have just been like, "Oh, I'm gonna go." Normally,
Yeah.
parents that are a little more cognizant of like death with kids and animals, they'd be like, "I'm gonna go take him to the forest and let him free." Be really kind of
Yeah,
fed.
yeah.
Would be nice about it.
Yeah.
But instead, he's like, "Look, I killed it. Look at its guts." So
God, he was proud of it. That was the hunter in him.
I think it was kind of like this is what I did to it, and
Yeah.
I was just like, And ever since then, I was kind of weird around animals. Ever since
Yeah.
then, so.
Well, I'd be more weird around my dad if I were you. Yeah,
with a hammer. Yeah, if I had a hammer, I was like, oh my god, it's
yeah.
gonna fucking.
But here's the thing. That's why you want a mouse trap, because it's instantaneous death.
Right.
Versus, okay, hey, yay, I caught a mouse on the glue trap. Here's part B. Now I've got a mouse that's going to take 4 days to die.
Right.
And I've got to watch this thing slowly suffer.
Right.
Or do I go get the hammer and smash it to shit in front of my boy?
Yeah, but it ruined his life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah.
That's tragic. That's
yeah.
it. But on a happy note, dude, tell me about your new comedy special. Let's get back to the laughter. No more dead mice.
Sorry, dude.
Yeah, no, tell us about your special.
I got a comedy special called "I'll Be Fine." You can find it on YouTube. So watch on YouTube, subscribe, leave a message on YouTube, on a comment.
Yeah.
And I'm super proud of it.
Where'd you shoot it? Where'd you shoot?
Shoot in Toronto, our hometown.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Was that by design, or were you just up there and you knew a buddy, or were you like, I want to go home and get in front of my peeps?
Yeah, I wanted to like go home and like say, hey, I did a special in front of my hometown,
Right.
And I found these cool filmmakers that shot it for me at this
Wow.
place called Comedy Bar in Toronto.
Yeah.
And it looks great. It's I'm very proud of it, and check it out.
How long is it?
40 minutes
On YouTube.
on YouTube.
See, I'm the opposite when it comes to performing. I get really spooked when there's people I know, or if it's a room full of like old friends, or it's in my
I didn't have any of
hometown.
that. I had people come out from Instagram and from all stuff like that. I didn't have any
Okay.
friends come out. I didn't tell people to
yeah.
come out there. I hate that too.
Right? It gets me so nervous.
I had my old roommate one time show up at a show. God bless him. He was like supportive, but he showed up with him and his and a bunch of friends that I knew, and they're just in the front row like this.
Oh, that's the worst.
I was like, dude.
And the what's weird about it is it sort of breaks the illusion, because
Yes.
when comedians go on stage, we sort of step into this hyper reality, right? And when you kind of see a familiar face, or especially someone who grew up with you or is a brother or a sister, what it does is it sort of puts a pin in that illusion.
Yeah.
Not to them so much, but to you, because you're used to playing to faces of people you don't know.
Right.
And so there's this ambiguous kind of shield where you're just like, I'm a funny guy and you don't know me and I'm going to make you laugh. But when you get in front of family members, it's like, oh, now I'm doing a joke about my Corvette Stingray, but you see your sister and you think your sister's going, wait, he never had a Corvette Stingray. You know what I mean? It's like this weird.
Isn't it funny as comedians, it's way more familiar to be in front of people that are unfamiliar.
Yeah, it is.
And if we're in front of people that are familiar, we're like, oh, this is weird.
It is.
But I talk to this guy all the time, but I don't like it like this.
It's really weird.
We love. I have like this social anxiety with like even parties where it's like I know everybody here. I'm kind of like, I guess I gotta. But if these were all strangers and I was on a stage, I'd be totally comfortable.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird? Are you the same way too? I feel
yeah.
Small talk is. I like small talk with friends, but like if there's this whole house is full of people that I all knew, I'd be like,
yeah.
who do I talk to? How long?
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
happening? But if they're all seated and I was on a stage, Easy street.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Isn't it weird?
And even so, if you were at a house and you didn't have issues, you probably wouldn't be as kind of vibrant as you are on stage. You
Right.
can still talk to people, but on stage you're just like the barn doors fly open.
Yeah.
It's a pretty interesting psychology with that.
The worst
stuff.
is when you're like dating somebody and they're like, I want to see your show, and great, and they're like within plain sight. You're like,
yeah.
and then you look over. Isn't it funny how like the whole room can be laughing, but if I see someone I know and they're not laughing,
Yeah.
I'd be like, that's all I can think about. It's so weird.
brutal.
But the whole room is laughing.
Yeah, it's very. That's what I mean. It gets in your head. I did a show at a club here in Hollywood not too long ago, a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It was advertised, and I didn't know anyone would be there that I knew. And I go out, and a lot of my friends from like the animation world, like my old college roommates and stuff, they all moved down here. So guys that I knew since college,
Right.
And then their group of friends who I also know.
Right.
And the funny thing is, a lot of people who come and see you do stand-up, they don't have that same mindset or the same etiquette. They're just like, oh, I'm going to go support my friend. So I walked out, and literally about 16 people were in the very front row with their feet on the stage just looking up at me like that. And I ended up having a great set because I found a switch, and I just went, these are my friends, but fuck them. I just got to... And it turned out to be, but the first few minutes I was just like, no, I don't know why it's so bizarre.
It's such like a conflict within our minds. They're like, hey, I'm glad you're here and supporting me, and you clearly love me as a person or friend.
Right, yeah.
But like, why did you come? It's such a weird thing. We go through this mental.
Yeah.
Whenever you see comedians on stage, we have, and you're like this. I'm sure we're all like this. We look calm and collected, but underneath it's like a duck in water. We're just like figure out what's going on. Why is my friend ordering chicken fingers? Not listening to this joke. Does he not care?
Yeah.
I almost want not even recognize a face out there at all.
Yeah.
Sometimes certain clubs they'll be like, hey, we'll put your friends in the booth or whatever. Like great. And then you look at the booth is up high and you can see them. We're like, I'm watching them all like check their phones.
Yeah. I went home to Toronto, and I did one of the biggest, most beautiful theaters in Toronto. It's called the Winter Garden.
Of course, yeah.
Right on Yonge Street. It's an old theater that was built, I think, in the 30s.
Was that a special you did?
No, I did a one night concert there.
Right.
Pretty much sold the place out. Like huge theaters with opera balconies and upper decks. Like it was this great coming home, and I told the guys running it, I said, under no conditions, like all my family wanted to come. I couldn't tell them no. They all live in Toronto. It's the Winter Garden.
Yeah.
So I said, look, under no circumstances, put them in the front row. Don't let me see them, like middle to back. I don't want them in the back because they're my family, but put them in nice seats in the middle, because what people don't know is at that point with the house lights, you can't see more than 2 or 3 rows back. So they would have been in the dark. Great, right? And my folks are very religious, so no swearing, no dirty stuff, and so
really,
yeah, they're a little judgmental that way. My parents, right?
Right.
So I didn't want to look into my parents' eyes and see them, because I'm not a very dirty comic, but there are a few areas where every now and then I'll swear or I'll say something
talking about
like
power slamming a nun or something.
Right? Some crazy innuendo. Yeah. So I go out. I'm like 5-6 minutes into my act. I'm at this beautiful theater, packed house.
Suit? Wearing a suit?
No, I'm not wearing a suit. I'm wearing something probably like this. And I look down and I go, oh, great. I don't see any of them. Perfect. So I start to settle in, and I'm doing a bit, and I look up, and in one of the opera boxes, literally hanging over the stage pretty much, I just see my dad staring down at me like this, and my uncle and my mother, and they were all and they weren't being mean, but they were just like and I lost it.
What'd you do?
I made it through the set, but I went from being in the moment and in the flow to being, oh God, they're watching me. And it got in my head. And did I have a good set? Yes, but I could have had a 10, and
you
I
didn't have
probably
fun.
had a 7.
There's a big difference between having a good set and having fun.
I didn't have fun. And I'm not blaming my parents. My God, I love them.
It's your own hang-ups. We're like,
It's my own hang-up, but it just got in my head, and it was like,
what is it about our dads? As soon as the arms get crossed.
Your dad drives me nuts.
Yeah. Greasy
like,
pop.
did he have to sit like this?
Like something about a dad just doing this.
Yeah, because it's like a wall. It's like if you're watching comedy, be open, but this is like a barrier. Like, make me laugh, boy.
Wouldn't it throw you off more if your dad's like open shirt, being like, broccoli teeth?
Yeah.
Why did he call her that?
He's up there lactating,
He's just lactating, just
squirting
your
milk
mother
into a
like,
jug. Yeah,
what a boy.
Yeah.
That'd be worse.
Yeah,
but I will say, you know, they don't mean it.
No, I know. That's the thing.
But your parents and anybody in your family, they just know you so well. They're like, oh, this is what he does.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
yeah, it's weird. It's so weird. I know.
But hey.
Hey, speaking of weird, let's go to, you got to do this because we do this with every guest, buddy. This is called Words from a Wooden Shoe. And basically, this is a real Dutch clog.
Is that your clog?
Yeah, this is mine.
Where's the other one?
It's in the garage where it belongs.
Okay.
I don't want my dad to see it.
Oh, yeah.
So what happens? You reach in here. There's words in the wooden shoe.
Okay.
Pull it out and see if it elicits a story or a memory from your life. Don't look. Can't look at them.
Have you actually ever worn this out?
I wore those on Letterman. I wore those wooden shoes on Letterman.
Did you really?
Yeah. I got a friend to buy them for me. I knew I was doing Letterman, and I asked a friend who was going to Harland to get me size 10.5, and I wore them on Letterman. Yeah. And David looked at me and goes, Harland, I see you're wearing wooden footwear tonight. And it just went from there. It was great. Yeah.
Wow.
So see if it inspires. And it doesn't, if it's not from your life, someone you know.
All right, so I got it out of your.
Okay, let's see what it is. There we go.
Con job.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Not my favorite kind of job.
Yeah. Ever been on the receiving end, or have you conned someone or know someone that
No, never had a con job.
Yeah.
What's a con job? Kind of like, are you talking like a heist? Is that a con job?
Kind of like deceiving someone, like conning them out of their money or conning them out of.
Funny you should say this.
Yeah.
Funny you should. This actually is very. You ever feel like we're like in a simulation where things are just a little too kind of like
symbiotic
or a little too, there's too much symmetry. I was literally just watching a video about AI scams when they use their voice of.
Oh, right.
I was just watching this.
Yeah,
just today, and I was showing my my fiance this.
Yeah.
I was like, this is wild. This I think he's like a congressman he was talking to like down in Washington.
Yeah.
Talking about how he got a call from his son saying, hey, Dad, I'm in jail right now. I got in an accident. My nose is broken. I hit a pregnant woman. I'm in jail, and you're going to get a call from my lawyer. And the congressman's like, are you serious? Okay, let me get. And he got a call from a lawyer, and the lawyer was like, we have your son. I'm as appointed attorney. He's going to need to post bond to get out of the jail.
Yeah.
And like, okay, what do I do? It's like, hold on a second. So you're gonna have to transfer this money to this kiosk, and then some bail bondsman thing. And he was like, okay. And then he called his work to say, hey, my son is in an accident. He won't be there. He got in an accident. I have to go to the jail and whatever. And they're like, wait, are you sure we just saw him? And then he got a call from his son, like, Dad, I'm fine. It was a scam. And I was like, man, the AI scams are getting real. It's crazy.
Well, you should have known right away. You don't break your nose hitting a pregnant woman's stomach.
No.
That's at worst some light bruising or some placenta around the eyes.
Yeah, you get like a greasy kind of like sloppy kind of like placenta kind of thing all over your car.
Yeah.
And then maybe you break your nose, but no.
Yeah.
But the scams are getting bad.
Yeah. Wow.
Are you worried about the AI scams at all?
I'm not worried about them because I feel like I'm wise to them. Like, I figure anything nowadays, if anyone but your banker, like,
that's what they say,
reaches out to you or your accountant, like, don't believe anything. Like,
you know what my favorite scam is?
What? Uh-oh.
There's all these AI scams where you get like someone like, hey, it's me, your daughter. I'm part of the slave trade. Come get me. Wire me 20. And then you're just like, what? And then it turns out it's not her. But my favorite kind of con artist You ever like driving around Los Angeles and you see like a telephone pole and it just says, let me sell your house. And it's a phone number on like cardboard.
Yeah, right.
That guy's not even trying.
I know.
Like, who falls for that?
Right. Well, this is like these guys on TikTok, that I said they pretend to be experts.
Like, this guy's not even printing a sign.
Yeah,
Let me sell your house. Who's calling? Hey, man, I got a house that's worth 1.3. What can you do? Like, hey, how great.
Oh yeah, and you'll see like a piece of paper, and it says electrical work, and they spelt electrical wrong. And
Yeah,
you're like, I want that guy that can't even do the
those
English
work?
alphabet.
Who's calling that? Let me sell your house.
Yeah.
And the phone number, not even a name.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Telephone pole.
Yeah.
I'm like waiting to get on the freeway. I look over, like, who's calling?
Yeah.
Like, hey, hi, I got a house for sale.
Yeah. Need your taxes done? Call Larry.
Call Larry Lightfoot. Yeah, let me do your taxes.
It's amazing.
So it's funny how like the different spectrums with con jobs. You got the people that are like AI, or using voice modifications technology to make you feel like, and using Bitcoin, and then you got some guy being like, Larry wants to buy your house, and just post it up on the freeway. Like,
and what's funny, it doesn't matter what iteration of it is, someone always gets conned.
Always.
Like someone always
the
gets
volume
taken.
thing. There's always some old lady from the Midwest being like, I want to sell my house to you, Larry.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, just hand me $50,000 in cash. I'll start doing it, whatever.
But here's the thing, though, with AI, I think it's going to get way more creative. I think it's going to get way more intelligent. I think, I don't want to sit here and say, oh, it'll never get me, but, it could. There's going to be so many interesting ways that they try and get you now, which is really sad. It's like we invent these things like artificial intelligence and the internet to supposedly plus our human existence.
Well, here's the thing, too, is our voices...
Yeah.
We're on podcasts so much. They can just grab our voice.
Oh, yeah.
And then they call Harley.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, and it's me being like, hey, Harland, I lost a cockfight. I'm like, they're going to take my legs.
Wow.
You gotta transfer over $50,000 in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Come get me, Harley. It's your buddy Eddie.
Just say that again a little clearer.
Cockfight?
Just the whole run. I might want to use it later when I start making a bit of cash. You could just... There's a little slip on one of the words. Just say
it's
it
me,
clear.
Eddie, your buddy. I lost a cockfight. They're going to take my legs.
Cut, chick-ching. Buddy, tell the folks where they can see you. Tell them more about the
Are the cameras
special
rolling?
again.
I don't even know you anymore.
No, we're not.
Okay, good.
Tell them where they can see your social media, where they can see your comedy, and then tell them again about your special.
You can find me at EDDIE DELLA SIEPE on all social media platforms. Type in EDDIE DELLA, you'll find me. And my special, I'll Be Fine, is on YouTube. EDDIE DELLA SIEPE. It's called I'll Be Fine. Check it out. Leave a comment. Share. Tell your friends.
Yeah.
It's a fun one.
Way to go, man. I'm
Thanks,
proud of
buddy.
you. Congratulations.
I'm glad we can hang out, man. Thanks for letting me into the Harland Highway. It's
great to have you here.
Clean,
and
nice.
Let's hit the sweet theme music. Folks, EDDIE DELLA SIEPE here on the Harland Highway podcast. Go get a dog. Go get a dad. Go get some prairie oysters and roll them around in your mouth. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, buddy.
Great to see you.
You too.
Till next time, everybody. Chicken chow mein, baby.